Hi everyone, John B. Man Saunders again. I thought it would be interesting for you to come and have a look at one of the hives that I closed down for winter, how I put the insulation on and the woodpecker protection and different things. So come with me now, we'll have a look at this hive. This was filmed on the 7th of October, the first part of the film, and the second part was on the 27th of October, so it's been a bit of a while before I managed to put it up on YouTube. So here we go then, we'll have a look at this first one, and it goes on to the colony that I cut out of an oak tree to give you an update on that. Off we go then, ready? Right, I'm up at the apiary. This is the hive that's in quite an isolated location, and I'm going to winter the hive down now because the hive is full of bees, this year's queen, and loads of stores for the winter. You can hardly lift the hive, it's so heavy, it's full right up, so I'm going to prepare it now for winter. In here obviously is the feed, obviously. We're going to take that off now because it's full up with stores, and I'm going to put insulation on there. I've got this is insulation that you get off a thing called Hello Fresh. It comes through the door with all your vegetables in it, and it keeps it insulated, so it's a good insulation. I think it's lamb's wool in there, so it's good to be able to use that for the insulation if anyone's got any of that. But basically we want some nice thick insulation on there. Keep going and building that up, that insulation. There we are, we've got all that insulation on there. That's that. Next thing is put the mouse guards on. Mouse guards on the front. That's the mouse guards on. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 holes there to go in, that's fine. Right, put the insulation on. I've wrapped this plastic right round. I've got it so it's nice and tight like that, look. Nice and tight round there. So that's all the insulation on, nicely wrapped round. I'll put the lid back, and I'll put the lid over the plastic. So the plastic's underneath it. I'll tuck that in there. See it, the plastic is up under the lid, as you can see. Next thing is a wire mesh to stop the woodpeckers drilling in. Here it is. We've just wrapped this round now. So I've got the woodpecker cage right round the hive with a strap going round there, and I've got a strap going round the top. That's secured on there now. Got the insulation, got the mouse guard, full up with feed. That's one done. Lynn the bee lady, taking the dog for a walk. I'm just going down to the other hive. Are you alright, Lynn? There's the hive we're going to. Tucked away under that big oak tree. See, this is the nuke that I got out of the oak tree, the cutout I done, and I've put a good strap over this. This is to prevent the woodpeckers getting in and drilling away at the hive, and so I use these straps to hold it down to stop the wind blowing it. It's on a good solid stand, so that's good for the winter. These are quite cheap to buy, these little straps. So I've made these just to fit over like that. See, it's wind protection. Wind protection stops the woodpeckers because it's got mesh in there, and you've got a gap there for the bees to go in. So that's another way of winterising your hives. You can do it that way or the other way. So we've got an ordinary nuke box here, polystyrene one, and I've got a cover over this. This is an insulation, a little insulation thing. I'll show you. This is made out of the material that you can buy to winterize your beehives. You can buy this from Bee Equipment in UK, and you just wrap that round the hive. But what I've got double thickness here, and in between I've got all insulation. So I'll put that over there, strap it round. It'll keep it a little bit warmer. There is some activity in the front of it. You can see a couple of bees there landing. They've all got pollen on, actually. There's 4 there, and all 4 of them have got pollen on. And it's the 27th of October. It's quite a nice day, but not warm enough to open them up and check them. But what I will do is take the lid off, and it's got a plastic crown board on this hive that we can see in to see that they're all doing quite well. But every bee going in there, look, has got pollen on, so that's great. There is a little bit of damp there, well, wet it's got in there, so I can take this off because it's got the plastic cover, look there, and you can see all the bees are in there. They're all doing quite well. They've ate quite a lot of this pate there along the edge. They've been eating it, so it was all over there, so they've ate quite a chunk of that. Not so much of that side, but looking at it from here, each frame looks quite full up, like they filled it up with we'll have a look. There is still some feed in there if they need it. There's pollen on that one there, like you see, they're in there with the pollen on. Yeah, you can see them there eating the pollen pate. I'll try and sort of show you. So because it's got the cover over it, the plastic cover, it's quite hard to focus in on them. But you can see that each frame is built out, and it's full of bees in there. So I haven't taken that cover off, so they're still quite warm. You can actually feel the warmth of the hive there when you put your hand on it. Well, they all seem to be doing well so far, but we never know whether this is going to last the winter into the summer. I don't know, but I'm going to give it the best shot I can. What can you see? I've got the entrance half closed there, and it's got a mesh or varroa mesh floor, so varroa mites can drop out. So it's got a little bit of air obviously going up under there and into the hive, and it's got this air going through there, so it's got a bit of a circulation of air. And I've got that half closed just to stop the air too much for the winter. So you can see they're quite active. And anyone that hasn't watched the video of the wild bee cutout, have a look on my channel, because it's recently done one, wild bee colony cutout, and these are the bees that I've got out of an old oak tree that had been fallen down in the wind. Worth looking at that. So we're hoping this colony survives the winter. You see, most of them have got pollen on. I think it's probably 95% of them bees going in there have got pollen on. They seem quite friendly. They haven't been out to sting me. Look, I can put my finger there and there's no bees coming to try and attack me, so that one's having a look. Look, friendly as anything. It's a guard bee. See, they're all coming back with pollen, look. Let's hope they make the journey through the winter, and we're going to have some great times together with this colony next year. I'm hoping that I might be able to breed some queens from it if it survives, and we can film all that next year. 2020, it's 2019 now, 27th of October, and it's a nice sunny day, but it's about 10 degrees I think, or 9. Yeah, so this location here where I've built this stand, it would be for a double stand. It is under this large oak tree, and it is quite large, and there has been some limbs coming off of it, so I hope it doesn't lose a limb and it's a hive, but I think that the tree will give it some protection during the winter from the north winds, because this is facing almost south, so the cold winds coming from the other way, it should protect it from that sort of weather. So that's why I've put it there, and also that field here and one behind me often has oilseed rape in it. Right, I hope you enjoyed that. Here we are back in the garden again, just to the end of the video now. I thought I'd show you a quick thing I haven't actually used for about 5 years. I've only ever used this once, and it was about 5 years ago I built this, I think, and I know it's only once I've used it, and it's a thing called a queen castle. And what it is really, it's just a brood box, and I've got 3 different entrances, 1, 2, 3, all different colours, and I've sectioned it off. I've got 1, 2, 3, 3 different compartments here, 3 different entrances, and I'll just show you, there's 3 different crown boards on it, sort of thing, or cover boards, whatever you want to call them. And I'll put 4 frames in there, and 3 in there, so I've got basically 3 little nukes out of 1 brood box. And all I've done was put a screen bottom floor on it, so it's got a screen bottom floor, and the bee space I just built up on the edges to have the bee space at the top, because else you wouldn't have no bee space. So even when I've got this on, like this, on top, there's bee space under there. So, you know, I just thought I'd show you that. I've used it once, and it was a complete success. I had 3 mated queens in each one, which is better than I've done with my nukes, but I didn't like the idea of transferring them into a bigger nuke or into a bigger box. I find it easier just to breed my queens and put my queen cells straight into a nuke box and mess around with this. I've kept it because I use it as a spare if I run out of equipment. Just another thing we can do at winter if we want. Make one of these boxes up, very easy to do. Just an ordinary brood box made into 3 with partitions so that the bees can't get into each other, because obviously if they get into each other they kill each other's queens, so you've got to make sure there's no gaps at all for the bees to get in. So there's a feed holes I've got on there, so you can easily put a another box on top with feed bottles on there to feed it as well. Quite a simple idea. You've probably seen them before on YouTube and different places, but you just put them in like that. Simple. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. Don't forget to look at my other videos. I've got quite a few there. If you haven't seen them all, you can have a look through the list. I think there's about 40 odd videos on beekeeping. I really appreciate all those that have liked and subscribed, and see you all on the next episode. Bye now from John B. Man Saunders. Ta-ra everyone.